just retain. Real strong men are self-control, their info is plain. If you don't know, feel that energy flow right into your brain. Your whole game will change. So just retain. So just retain. So just retain. Real strong men are self-control, their info is plain. If you don't know, feel that energy flow right into your brain. Your whole game will change. So just retain. So just retain.
Semen retention soldiers. We're about to talk about organizing your mind. It's actually super important that you organize your mind, because an organized mind means an organized life, and an organized life means progress in all areas. If you're organized in your relationships, you're going to notice that your relationships can continue to expand, have dynamic experiences, and really be able to cultivate something special. Most people don't put the effort to be organized in their relationship. We're going to talk about how to do that today as men. We're going to talk about today how to be organized in your health. When you're doing meal prep, when you're eating with a purpose, you're not eating for taste. You've gone above just living life for sensual pleasure, but now you're on purpose. So you're eating with a purpose. And for me, I've been transforming my mindset, transforming my thoughts, using the processes of alchemy that we teach inside the Semen Retention Army to learn to transform my habits and my thoughts and my energies around food. And I've lost a ton of weight and I feel great, and things are just going to get better. So get organized in your health. When you're organized in your mind, you can be organized in your finances. When you're organized in your finances, you've got more power in the world, because finances are somewhat a sort of power in this world. You can make things happen when you have finances. And it doesn't matter if you're making $2 an hour or $20,000 an hour, $2 million an hour, or whatever your net worth is, or however you calculate your income. What matters is that you have an organized plan in which you're executing, and you're seeing that plan come into fruition. And as things go wonky in your plan, as they will, that you just recognize those as learning curves, things that you didn't see because you didn't have enough experience yet or awareness yet. But that will expand as you move towards your purpose. So it's all about organizing the mind. Those are the benefits. Listen, all the techniques inside the Semen Retention Army that we teach, part of the sexual alchemy process, I'm going to be demonstrating a bunch of them this Saturday. That's May 7th. And I'm going to be doing Sex Mastery 101, which is my signature class. It's my signature free class where I'm going to go into the science of semen retention. I'm going to introduce you to some few practices of Tantra so that you can last as long as you want in the bedroom. You can reverse things like porn-induced erectile dysfunction. You can use these techniques to learn to control your ejaculations, being able to master or bring a higher level of mastery, as it's always a journey, towards your own life. And as you master your sexual energy, you will become your energies internally. So your emotions, your mental energies, your thoughts, which then transform into your physical movement and actions, will become organized. And as I already explained, there are tons of benefits to that. If you're on the spiritual path, they say that organized cleanliness is next to godliness, and God's first law is order. So doing things in an efficient and orderly way, this is especially for men, especially for the masculine energy. It's so important. Okay. Let's talk about these 3 techniques. You guys can register for the webinar coming up, the masterclass, Sex Mastery 101. It's in the comments below. I got my pen and paper. I want to talk to you about technique number 1. And technique number 1 is changing your state. when you are feeling like you have so many thoughts running in your mind, when you feel like you're overwhelmed by life's demands, you're overwhelmed by your business, maybe you've got employees, maybe you've got a team like I do, and that means you're thinking about them. You're not just making decisions for yourself, but you're making decisions for many people. And because of that, you're thinking, okay, like, I got to work my day efficiently. When you're feeling overwhelmed by your relationship, maybe there's some challenges there, maybe in the bedroom, maybe outside the bedroom, maybe they're both happening. There's disconnection, maybe with your kids, maybe with another family member. Maybe you're feeling like your social life isn't where it should be. Like, man, shouldn't we have a little bit more friends, more community? We can become overwhelmed with these types of thoughts. When you become overwhelmed with these types of thoughts, when you become overwhelmed with um, these types of blocks in your life, the first thing that you can do is change your state. Now, I'm going to take this from Mr. Tony Robbins. Okay, so Tony Robbins, whether you like him, you hate him, I don't care. Just be open-minded about what you can learn and benefit from in your life. Here's the deal. He talks about you live in these three states. You're always simultaneously in a mental state, in a physical state, and an emotional state. I think anybody can relate to that. And you'll notice that they're interlinked. Your physical state and your emotional state are reflective. Same with your mental state. Out of these three states, which is the easiest to change? The easiest to change is your physical state. Because you can get up and go for a walk. You can get up and do 10 jumping jacks. Here's a simple technique that we teach to release dormant energy inside the semen retention army. I'll just stand up quickly and show you. So I'm a little bit out of frame for this, but basically you just bounce and just shake it out. Now you could do this at your desk. You could do this anywhere. And then you can tap out your body, releasing dormant energy, getting your cells moving, getting your body moving. You could do some jumping jacks. You know what I mean? You could get down, give me 10. That could be done as well. The point is change your physical state. When you feel like watching porn, when you feel like doing something that you shouldn't be doing, now is not the time, place, or setting, or you want it out of your life, whatever your relationship that you're developing with. Remember, everything lives in relationship. So we have a relationship with money. We have a relationship with women. We have a relationship with our partners. We have a relationship with other men. We have a relationship with so many things. Everything we have a relationship with. We have a relationship with our body, because we are essentially not those things. We are the awareness behind those things. That's one kind of floofy way of looking at it. But through the techniques as well, you develop a knowingness that actually is, the ultimate truth, consciousness. That consciousness is what we are, spirit, and we are conscious beings. The more that we become conscious in our life, and we have to practice. That's why so many different religions exist, and so many different spiritual technologies exist. It's simply so that you are developing in your awareness. You're becoming more and more aware of the subtler aspects of life. And then you recognize for yourself, when you can control the more subtle aspects of yourself, the non-invisible aspects of yourself, or the non-visible aspects of yourself, then it's easier to control the visible aspects of yourself. So mental, emotional, physical. Physical is the easiest to change. Get up and do something like I just showed you. There's many things that can be done there. Jacob, thanks so much for tuning in, man. Being here live. This is wonderful. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that you're getting value out of this. Please, like, share, all that kind of stuff if you can and willing. It really just helps us get these good lessons out there. Okay, so technique number one is you're going to change your physical state. Now, you can change your mental state. Mantra meditation is a great way to do that. It also changes your emotional state if you're doing it right, because you're doing your mantras from your heart, or prayer from the heart. This is taught in many different traditions. Again, Jesus refers to the heart many, many times, and the conquering of fear. In Bhagavad Gita, so in the Eastern philosophies, they also teach the importance that the soul is the seat of the heart. So understand that mantra meditation is really good. So Jacob says, explain mantra meditation. Sure, I'm happy to. The word mantra is a Sanskrit word. Man means mind, and tra means to release. So a mantra is a repetitive prayer or line said over and over again. Traditionally, I learned it in Sanskrit, but every spiritual path has their form of using. For instance, in Islam, they chant the 9 qualities of Allah. In different Hindu type of sects, they chant different names that they of God. In the Buddhist, they use repetitive mantras to evoke certain emotions and states of peace or detachment, non-attachment, or emptiness. So many different ways. So mantras are like prayers that are said in repetitive ways so that you can focus your mind. It's an amazing way to shift your mental state. Most people chant at the mental level, but if you're doing it properly, you're chanting with emotion from the heart, in a loving mood, kind of a mood that's like, hey, God, or help me be of greater service to you. Like, help me help you. and then in a way, through you become like a conduit for the amount in which you can serve. So anyways, that's going deeper into philosophy stuff. So physical, mental, and emotional. Emotional is you can change your emotional state sometimes with music, sometimes with dancing. Hey, Marla, good morning. So you can change your state. So anytime you're feeling overwhelmed, anxious, you're feeling in a way that's like life is beating you up, you're not feeling good about yourself or your situation, whatever it is, somehow you're losing the little voice battle. The mind has turned against you, because if the mind was with you, it would say joyous things, it would say positive, it would say things that are beneficial. Let's say that. It will say things that are beneficial. So it doesn't always have to be joyous and positive. That's why I stopped myself saying, let's get really real. It could simply say, hey, it's time to get to work. Hey, you should probably go get on that treadmill or go for that walk. Maybe you've had enough candy for for today, right? Like, it's a regulative. So it's sometimes not feel joyous, but it's helping you. It's actually truthfully helping you. And that is the voice of your internal consciousness or awareness that we all have, but tend to stuff out, mainly because of our whether it's our lust, our greed, our jealousy, our envy, all of these different things that we have going on inside, our traumas, our skepticism, where everybody's out to get us, everybody's out to screw us over. All of those things, all of these other filters tend to stifle the ability to connect in with that really inner knowingness of what to do next and what the right thing is to do for yourself and for your life. And it's often not the sexy thing, it's not the glamorous thing to do. Often nobody's going to know about it. You're not going to get recognized for it. Nobody's going to pat you on the back. But actually, all of those kind of material, pleasurable things that we like I like recognition like anyone else. I like, getting noticed by anyone else. So it's not denial of those desires within us. It's just putting them in their proper place. Those things happen at greater and greater levels when behind the scenes, you're doing the right things in your life. You're improving your health. You're improving your state of mind. You're improving your vocabulary, your intelligence to communicate. This is important. When you're doing those things, then ultimately your mind is going to work for you. But it's very difficult to control the mind. It's very difficult. The analogy in the Bhagavad Gita from the Eastern philosophy is that the mind is harder to control than a fire in the wind or something like this. Wind, think of like a flame and wind is going, and the flame is just everywhere. That is the mind for most people. The more that you can not silence the mind, that's impossible. Why would you want to silence the mind? This is a kind of a new agey fad, like where people that in my opinion, anyways, perspective, they didn't really go deep enough to the original teachings. So they're like, we need to silence the mind. That's not what emptiness is, or that's not really what it is. What it is transcending the mind in awareness and consciousness, which means I'm aware that I am not the body or mind, but the consciousness that can witness the body and mind and its fluctuating actions. And then I have a certain amount of willpower, so power, personal power, to actually direct that mental energy. You wouldn't want your heart to stop. Why? Because the heart means you're alive. You wouldn't want any aspect of your body to stop working or to go dead, silent, because they're vital signs to your life. The fact that you're thinking thoughts means you're alive. Right? So why would you want to silence the mind? The only reason you would want to silence the mind, if that is your goal, is because your mind is working against you and not for you. If your mind was working for you, like I've learned to train myself to make my mind 95% of the time, right? I'm no master, but 95% of the time, my mind works for me. And it's taking me to where I want to go. And that's why, over the last 2 years, I've experienced a tremendous amounts of growth in all aspects of my life, mainly because the 5 years before that, I spent tons of times doing my best to develop my mind in different ways. And the easiest way to develop the mind that I've learned, or that I've experienced, I've learned many ways to do it, but the best way that I have learned to do it is to be able to change your physical state, get stronger, get healthier, eat better foods, do the weight loss journey, get the best physique journey. Don't do it from a space though of material gain. It's just because I want to look sexy. It's just because I want people to go, ooh, look at your 6-pack abs, or blah, 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 blah. Don't do it from that space. Do it from a space of like I'm doing this because the stronger that I am, the more I can be of service. The more I can help my family, and the better my mental health will be. And when my mental health is better, I make better decisions. And when I make better decisions, my finances are better. My projects that need to get done. I feel good, so I don't procrastinate. I also believe in myself, so I don't procrastinate. Procrastination is largely a feeling of being overwhelmed or under-equipped to handle the task. But the mind makes mountains out of molehills, and the spiritual or the godly perspective of that is God does not put things in your path unless you were big enough to handle it. So your challenge becomes your way. People say, I need a spiritual practice. I need a way to develop myself. No, you just need your life. That's all you need. Get into your committed way. Get into your life in a more committed way. Figure out what's distracting you and figure out ways to rearrange your thoughts, organize your thoughts in such a way where those distractions no longer become the plans of the day. And I'm going to give you a few things that I've done over the last few years that have tremendously helped me in this. And then lastly is your emotional state. When you change your physical, your emotional generally changes. Think about it. You could be in the worst mood ever, but then you go for a walk and boom, all of a sudden you start to feel better. Why? Because the blood is pumping. You're not stagnant. Your energetic being means you should be active, right? Too much couch surfing, too much Netflix, too much video games, All that shit is actually slowing down life. Think of your blood as like an electricity flowing. Well, who's going to feel more fulfilled, therefore act in fulfilled ways, which are that's where all the magic happens. That's where you feel sexy and but all that stuff actually happens as a result of doing internal work. But we tend to look at life as external to internal, right? Oh, I don't it's like we got to just focus on understanding how we can control our internal worlds, and things will happen for us in better ways, and be in it for the long term. This is essentially like a lifestyle. That's why I'm like, the army is a lifestyle, right? It's a lifestyle of willingly taking on disciplines, knowing that will better your life. There's no way around that. Okay, so I think I've beat that. I want to say kick that horse enough. Let's move on to technique number 2. I will remind you guys quickly that I am doing a webinar, a men's only webinar, this Saturday, May 7th. For guys who want to dive deeper into the ultimate practice of self-discipline, which is semen retention or ejaculation control. And so that's why we practice it, mainly because you learn how to change your physical state through your breath, through meditation, through physical movement and muscle control. So you can do it anywhere, anytime, at work. Like, these techniques will equip you anywhere, anytime to be able to use them to deal with anxiety, to deal with stress, to deal with overwhelm, and more importantly, to put yourself into a state in which you feel like a strong leader or a man who can then lead his army, lead his team, lead his organization, lead his sports. He can become a leader in his endeavor, in whatever he's passionate at. And over time, by his own mastery, he'll be able to be more influential and get things done in the world. So that's why this work is so important. Okay. 2, write it down. So I have this book. This book was an investment of maybe $2, $3. Here's a better book. This, I keep one for one of my business clients, my coaching clients. But this is a $1.50 investment. This $1.50 investment and a pen. So maybe a $2 to $3 investment, Canadian dollars. Okay. Generates me. It's incalculable how much productivity this little pen and paper actually keeps me. And here's what I'll give you an inside look of how I keep my book. So this is my book, and this is what I've got on my list every single day. I start my day with chant 16, so I do a certain amount of mantras every day. Boom, I start the day with that. And right after that, I've gotten into the habit, a little bit of breath work, a little bit of alchemy practices to get my energy flowing, to stimulate myself, to get focused for the day. It's the most important thing I do in the day because it focuses me into the day. However you spend the first 15 minutes of your day, or the first, let's say, even hour, if you're a slow riser, like me, I got to kind of get up out of bed, like, kind of get it going. That's okay. You're not supposed to go from sleep to up. It's like you're waking up. It's a process. So what you want to do is have a conscious waking up process where you're now engaged into that very process of waking up. I do it through mantra meditation. You could do it through prayer of your tradition. So if you're Muslim, you chant the qualities of Allah. Maybe if you're Christian or you're Jewish, you'll take your book of prayer and you'll bring it out and you'll recite those. You figure out how it's done. The principle of how to do it is always the same. Your expression of it, that's up to you. I teach, the way a certain expression, just the ones I've experienced. And I've spent time in different religions, so that's why I'm like, okay, I get it. The methodology is all the same. That's what we really have to understand, the principles. Okay, then I write down other things that I'm doing. So my workouts, right? Then I've got a few different projects. So semen retention army stuff. So I'm answering emails. I'm answering the guys in the army. I'm answering questions through our WhatsApp group. I'm doing videos, I'm creating content. It's all written down. Everything I'm doing, I know what I'm doing, and I know what I'm doing the day before. This gets like today, I will write down what I'm doing tomorrow. That way, I am organizing my day. I am in control of my day. And that's why I feel good. Too many people are not in control of their day. And that's largely why they don't feel good. That happens for two reasons. You're trying to control things that are outside of your control. All right. Only if you have power to do something, should you do something. If you don't have power to do it, get into what you have power to do. And then what you have power to do will expand. You cannot bypass that process. Okay, so you can see I write things down. You'll also see this is a day. This is a day, right? This is a bit busy. This is a day. Notice I don't have a million things. This is three. These are few days, 2 days, plus some notes that I did on the last week's meditation. You can see how simple also my day is. Simplicity breeds organ. It's easy to organize a simple thought process. It's easy to organize simple tasks. So stop being so complicated with your tasks and organize simple tasks. Then your day will be simple. And when you have, okay, I'm doing these 6 things today, and they must all be aligned with your definite goal. Now, if you're thinking, what's my definite goal? Make sure that you go and jump on my website, nicoladaz.com, and book some time with me, a half an hour coaching call, and I can go through helping you discover a definite goal and a nice exercise there. Okay, so you want to write things down. You want to be organized in your day. And then allow yourself. Now, I used to be over stringent with this, just way too okay, 0 to hero. What I've learned over time is with a balance. At least this is what works for me, and you're going to figure out what works for you. And this is where you have to know yourself. You have to know where you're at. Stretch yourself just outside of where you're at, so you're purposely and consciously stretching yourself to grow. So maybe that means getting up 15 minutes earlier. Maybe that means getting to bed 15 minutes earlier. Maybe that's from 2 hours of Netflix to an hour and a half of Netflix. I like progressive growth as opposed to 0 to hero, because I find that it's easy to accomplish. It's easy to do. It's simple. And you're making small changes that over time equal big results. But these small changes will equal big results as you're conscious about it. And it becomes a game. You recognize this is the way to improve my life in all ways. Whichever way is important to you, doesn't matter. The fact is the principle under improvement is organized effort, organized thought. And that starts by organizing your mind. It's how you think and organizing your thoughts. So, okay, I beat that one now a lot. Write it down. $3 investment, change your life. You might be more high tech than me. You take a phone, you use the notes sections, boom, boom, boom. You keep it there. Figure out how it's done. Voice notes. If you're auditory listener, whatever. I don't care. Figure out a way to do it. Do it. Okay, number 3, take control of your breath. This is a great one for when you're in the grocery store, when you're about to go talk to a woman and you're like, oh, geez, I'm nervous, right? Men need to start doing that kind of stuff again. The online world has kind of trained us to send a message, but actually, it's really important that we kind of keep it a little bit old school too. And develop those social skills and develop to be able to get over anxiety. It's okay to be rejected. It's okay that not everybody likes you. This fake world of social media, we try to cultivate our world where everything is perfect and everyone likes us and everyone agrees with us. And if you don't, I can't be friends with you, or I can't interact with you. And that's why people feel so lonely. Largely, it's that largely we've kind of losing the skills of good social skills. And so social skills are so important. If you want to do good business, you need to grow a network. If you want to have a strong connections, family, social life, status, you want even those things, you have to still have a network. You have to learn these skills. So again, it comes back to no matter what you want, these growth principles must be there. Okay, so taking control of your breath. The first one is so simple. Deep belly breathing. Breathe in through the nostrils. You can give it a try right now. And deep and belly deep into your stomach. And then exhale, stomach retracts and out the nostrils. Just simply by focusing your breath on deep belly breathing, you'll be able to calm your mind down if you're feeling overwhelmed. The sooner you catch it, the better. But basically, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like your emotions are about to take the better control of you, and now is not the time to let your emotions fly, right? So sometimes, like for instance, guys will be in, the weirdest places. You'll be in your meeting, and next thing you know, some thought arises in you that's like that porn that you watched last night or something, right? Or that, right? You shouldn't be doing that here, but that amazing sex you had last night, right? And that shit will just rise in your mind, and you'll just be like totally like, shit, I should be listening to I should be listening to my business partner. I should be listening to my team. I should be listening to my, my stakeholders and what I'm doing and my investors and all that stuff. And I'm thinking about, the good time we had last night. Or you're extremely spiritual and devoted, so you're thinking about God. Or you need money, so you're thinking about money. Then some emotion will rise from that thought. So a thought will come. And then if you give that thought energy, so you give it your awareness, then an emotional response will build up to it. So that could be a negative or a positive response. The point is as soon as you become aware, and the earlier you catch it, so the more you practice, the better you'll become. As soon as that thought arises, you'll be aware of that thought, and then you train yourself. Oh, that's not a thought that I either want to entertain because it's so negative and it has no real purpose. It's my mind working against me instead of for me. No, I'm not entertaining that. Deep belly breath. You take your mind and now you place it on conscious breathing. That only relaxes. You'll notice that your physical state will relax and your mental state will relax. You relax your physical, your mental will relax, your emotional state will calm down, which will give you more clarity and insight and back into your more intuitive knowing self. That's where you can hear your internal guidance a lot better. Okay. So, So point is, deep belly breathing is a great one to simply just organize your mind, calm down, and this way you don't react to what's going on, but you can give yourself some distance, some space internally, and say, what will be the most intelligent way to handle this situation? Oftentimes the answer is, it's not in my power. It's not in my control. So what is in my power and control? Maybe it's just walking away because that's better for your mental health and state. Maybe it's you see some opportunity in the challenge. Great. And basically, until you see opportunity in the challenge, there's no point of acting, because any action that's simply responding out of fear or insecurity is simply going to put you into a responsive pattern. And as a conscious being, our job as human beings is to live more consciously, and then things work really well. And we can do that by first taking better control of our mind, our thoughts, organizing our thoughts. When you are feeling out of balance, out of sync, things are just not lining up for you, or you feel like you really need to calm yourself down and you're a little bit alone, you can do alternative nostril breathing. So you could do like hang loose, what up? Take your thumb, place it on your nostril. Take a deep breath in through the left nostril. Close both nostrils, hold it. Exhale through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. Close it. Exhale through the left nostril. That's one round of what's called alternative nostril breathing. You'll notice right away that one nostril is always a little bit more closed than another. This will help open up those air paths, and it switches throughout the day. Every 2 hours, the left side will be more dominant, then the right side will be more dominant. You'll notice it if you do that breath throughout the day. Very calming breath, very cooling, very calming breath, very neutralizing breath. I feel balanced. I feel relaxed. Now I can go wash the dishes. Now I can get that project I need to get done around the house done. Now I can go do my practices. I can do that stuff I've been procrastinating on because I know it's actually going to make a difference and change my life, but maybe I get no recognition, or maybe it's not very sexy, or maybe I'm perceiving it as a mountain when in actuality it's a molehill. All right. This is this is the practical application. So those are two great breaths. Another breath, let's say you need energy. You want more energy and you don't want to go and reach for caffeine, or you don't want to go and have to do something, basically caffeine is the number one, I think, widely accepted addiction in the world, that and sugar. These are the two most widely accepted addictions in the world that it's so normalized that most of us don't even realize we're addicted to these things because everybody's drinking coffee and sugar. And think about how much sugar is put into all of our foods and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I can go on. You guys know what's up. Okay, so by taking control of your breath, so let's do another breath. This one's if you want more energy. What you can do here is fire breath of fire, reverse breathing. So I'll just stand up to show you. So deep belly breathing, we expand our breath in the inhale. In reverse breath, you're contracting your stomach in the inhale. So I'm like pumping my stomach, but it's coming from the breath. So it's not just a physical, like pumping my stomach in and out. So I'm taking breaths in with my nostrils. You can also do your mouth. Now you do 10 of those, 15 of those, 25 of those, depending on your fitness level. When you start it, even just a couple, you'll notice, first of all, this is a heating breath. This is stoking the fire element within you, it's found in the solar plex or the dantian. In the Chinese medicine wheel, it's called the dantian. In the yogic system, it's called the solar plex. You could just say you are getting your digestive system running. And so things are heating up. Heat, energy, clearer mind, more effective in your day. At home, you can get more things done. That's why people think, oh, I have no time to meditate. I have no time to do these practices. No, this will give you more time because it will make you more efficient. If you're more efficient, it'll only take you an hour to get maybe what would used to take you 2 or 3 hours to get done, because your mind is just boom, 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 boom. You're operating your day, getting shit done. 2 to 3 hours, 4 hours, you've done, 2 to 3 days work. Well, by the time that week is done, guess what? You've accomplished, what might take somebody a month to accomplish, you've accomplished it in a week. That's why your life will grow. It's efficiency. It's all about efficiency. And the first place we must get efficient is internally. When you're internally efficient, externally you'll be efficient. And whatever's important to you will come into fruition because you'll be so efficient in creating. And look at nature. Everything's efficient in nature. Only human beings have learned. We've created so much. This is the downside of technology. I'm not anti-technology. I'm not anti-social media. I'm not anti-entertainment. I'm saying just put them in the right place. We're overindulging in this. We should maybe, we're overdoing it. We're not built to sit around all day. We are built. Nature wouldn't just create us for that. We are built for so much more. And self-discovery is part of that process. Nature or God has given you enough awareness to say, basically, I'm gonna let the hooks go a bit on you. See, an animal has no choice but to do the basic activities an animal: eat, sleep, have sex, and defend itself. Comfort in 4 different forms: eat, sleep, have sex, defend itself. Us human beings, we also do those things because that's the bodily function of life. Eat, sleep, have sex, comfort. That's your body. But you're more than a body. You have more mental capacity than an animal. So you've been given more functionality, but it's more in the subtle mind. And now you can discover, oh, I'm actually conscious, so I can therefore have a certain amount of control over my body and my mind. And that's the path of self-mastery. That's the path of inner efficiency and inner organization. All right. I'm going to recap today's talk in 2 minutes here. 1, if you're not registered for this weekend's webinar, it's a men's only webinar, Sex Mastery 101, where I'm going to be teaching the science behind semen retention, why it is the ultimate practice of self-control. Because a man who can control his sexual urges becomes a powerful man. A man who cannot will always stay in the 4 activities of life. That's all they'll do. But a man who can say, I'm going to at least bring control to this, begins to transmute that energy into his mental and emotional capabilities, which makes him more powerful in the world, gives him more organized effort. He can organize himself in more efficient ways, and everything works better when you're efficient. Okay, so number 1 technique I gave you was changing, and this came from the book of Tony Robbins. You're changing one of your states. When you're feeling off, overwhelmed, you change one of your states: mental, emotional, physical state. When you, so the easiest one to change is the physical state. So I showed you some techniques earlier in the training. Go back and rewatch it and use those techniques. Second thing, write things down. I showed you my $3 investment that has made me an efficient person. Notice there's no, like this day, April 29th, there was 6 things on my to-do list. Stop writing a million things on your to-do list. What is the most important things? And that means you have to have a definite goal of life. You have to have something you're working towards every day. If you don't have something you're working towards every day, you won't know which tasks to say yes to and which tasks to say no to. So you must become definite in your goals. If you need help doing that, go to my website, nikuladas.com, and book a 30-minute free coaching session with me where I will help you develop some definite goals, or at least show you the process so that you can implement it into your life. Okay? Great for business people, great for men who need to get them over some kind of addiction. Really great stuff. Okay. Then the third technique I gave you today was take control of your breath. So those are very like easy, practical tools, that you can use when you're sitting at your desk. You can use it when you're in the car. You can use it when you're in the club and you want to go dance with somebody. You can use it when you're about to do something you've never done before. You're about to give that public speech. You're about to, go old school in your dating and go and meet people and connect and have the thrill and excitement and nervousness of what that feels like, and becoming stronger. When you invest in something you've never invested before, breath work is going to help you push past the physical response to being uncomfortable, which you're either calling nervous or anxiety or overwhelmed or what I call like you feel under-equipped. You feel yourself to be inferior to the task in front of you. You are not. The challenge becomes the path. The thing that you are resisting becomes your daily practice, and boom, that's how you break through in all areas of life: health, finances, projects, getting them done, making a difference and an impact, getting over the fear of criticism, getting over the fear of people don't like me, getting over the fear of what others think of you, so that you're free to go live your life in your expression and do what you're meant to do on this planet and stop wasting time. All right, soldiers, I appreciate you tuning in. As always, soldiers retain. Make sure that you go register for the webinar. Ask me questions, leave comments below, share the video out, and I appreciate all you guys tuning in live. Marla says, this is so informative. Thank you so much. And yeah, look, if you're a woman and you're watching, fantastic. Obviously, these are principles that can be applied to man, woman. I don't care how you identify. I don't care and what your skin color is, what your religion is. I don't care about none of that. These are principles that work for everyone to improve their life, and everyone has the right to be equipped to improve their life as they see fit. And so that's how I like to present these principles. That's it. Go register for the webinar. We'll see you guys this weekend. For those who tune in, I appreciate you. We'll see you next week, same time, same place, live. Soldiers retain.
Soldiers retain. Real strong men are self-control. Their info is plain. If you don't know, feel that energy flow right into your brain. Your whole game will change. Soldiers retain. Soldiers retain. Soldiers retain. Real strong men are self-control. Their info is plain. If you don't know, feel that energy flow right into your brain. Your whole game will change. Soldiers retain. Soldiers retain.